We met in December of 2007, December 15th, 2007.
Whoa.
My band had just been playing a show in McCalla, Alabama, this little city, maybe 45 minutes outside of Birmingham.
Sweet home.
Yeah, Roll Tide. And we'd played the shows, maybe 425 people there. Now, early that morning, we'd driven overnight, and we slept inside the venue for a few hours in the morning, early 2, 3 in the morning. And I woke up earlier than the rest of the guys, and I went outside and was just walking, praying, spending time with the Lord. And while I was out there, I found a ring on the ground, kind of a nice ring. I think it was just a piece of costume jewelry, not like somebody lost their engagement ring, but it was kind of nice. And I felt bad just throwing it back on the ground, So I dropped it in my pocket and didn't think much about it. We later we loaded all of our gear in. We went out to lunch. We came back and sound checked. We went out to dinner. 425 people show up to the show. It's a great night. We play our show. The other bands are playing. At the very end of the night, right before we started tearing stuff down to load it away, loaded back up in the trailer, I was standing back behind our merch table, and I was talking to our merch guy. And while we were talking, I just sort of stuck my hand in my pocket, and I felt that ring again. And I thought, I got to figure out something to do with this. So I pull it out of my pocket. And as I do so, these two girls walk up to the table, and I just held my hand out with the ring to one of them and said, "Hey, this is for you." And she took it and stuck it on her ring finger. And she said, "Oh, crazy. It fits perfectly." She said, "I guess we're supposed to get married." And we both laughed and laughed. And we've been married now for 12 and a half years.
Wow. So Candace had a 50-50 shot there.
It could have been her friend, Casey, I think was her name. Yeah. Which is, I think I got the better deal.
Yeah.
I think I chose right. Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah. Wow. So in that moment, you're handing this ring over to her, and is she kind of like pushing your shoulders down to get on one knee and like, let's make this official?
No, so she was not, you got to understand, I probably hadn't taken a shower in 2 weeks. I had dreadlocks at this time.
Oh, gosh.
I owned one pair of pants and probably 2 shirts. Like it was, nobody would want to marry that pile of filth that I was. I was a touring musician. And, but we just got to talking, and I asked, who did you come to the show to see? I figured I was going to give some girl a ring, and she was going to think, oh, that's so funny. And she'd buy a shirt, and she'd be a fan, and we'd have it just was a random thing. It didn't occur to me that it could be romantic. I wasn't flirting with her. She literally was the first person to walk up to me. And so we got to talking, and I asked, who did you come to see at the show? And she said, well, actually, before I gave my life to Christ, I used to come to these shows and get drunk and heckle Christian bands. And so now I love Jesus. Yeah. She used to be the one screaming, shut up. This isn't church.
She wasn't the girl in the front row with the middle finger.
Not at that show. No, not for us. She'd never heckled us before, but she came to the show thinking, I just want to share the gospel with girls that are maybe in the position that I used to be in. So we got to talking about that, and I thought, that's awesome. And I found out she was about my age, a couple months older. And so we got to chatting, and she said her dad had a basement we could sleep in. And so she said, well, here's my number. Let me know if you guys ever need a place to stay in Birmingham. She just thanked us for sharing the gospel and got a shirt to support us and help us get gas money to the next show. And so then that night, I end up in that crazy Confederate flag slave house, and so
wishing you went to Candace's.
Exactly, wishing. So I'm texting her like, you will not believe this place that we're staying. Just heads up, we're definitely staying at your place next time. And maybe it was a couple weeks later that I was in prayer, and the Lord sort of interrupted what I was praying about and said, that girl Candace is going to be your wife someday, so don't screw it up. And the rest is history.
So was texting, I'm trying to think, 2009. So yeah, or 2007 you said?
Yeah, it was probably T9.
So T9.
We were T9 in each other.
So you're T9 in her.
Yeah.
Which sounds inappropriate, but you're messaging her, and did you just tell her like, hey, God just told me that you're going to be my wife? So
yeah, so I try to keep that part of the story out because I would advise young men, if God told you that you should marry this girl, you should probably just keep that between you and God. But I didn't have any accountability in my life.
You had too much Taco Bell in your system.
Because here's the thing. Most of the young men I know don't really know what the voice of God sounds like. They think I think she's hot and she loves Jesus, so she must be supposed to be my wife. And I think we need accountability and leadership in our life to help govern, those big sort of life decisions and help us navigate those things in a wise way. Now, by the grace of God, things worked out okay for us. But I know lots of guys that have told 4 or 5 girls, the Lord said, you're supposed to marry me, and it hadn't worked yet. And so they're just sort of stumbling through manufacturing these words from the Lord that are making everybody's life a lot more difficult and confusing, mostly theirs. And so I think if you're a young guy and you feel like God told you that you should marry that cute girl in your class, just keep it to yourself. Yeah. Why don't you go introduce yourself first? I think you start with hey, my name is Jeffrey. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Go meet this girl.
Unless your name's not Jeffrey.
And just see what happens. Just say Jeffrey anyway. Who cares?
Hey, y'all. We hope you loved this conversation. Here at Young Married Christian, we are on a mission to see a gospel-centered home made available for every single child in the foster care system. There are 400,000 kids in the foster care system, and there are 400,000 churches in America. Wow. That is crazy. This is absolutely a solvable problem, and we want to be a part of it. If you want to join us in that mission, text the word freedom to 833-370-1610.
833-370-1610. 833-370-1610.
I just did it.
And another thing you can do that is really helpful is to smash the like button on this video.
Smash it like Satan's face. Crush it like it's Lucifer's head.
It really helps us a ton, so smash that like button, subscribe to this channel.
That's it.
Smash the like button on this video.